Rinseless washing. It's a different method of cleaning your car other than using soap. But what one to use? That is always the question. Today I will be comparing two different rinseless washes on the market that a lot of people like. Mckee's 37, that's been around quite a while. P&S Absolute, it's only been out for a couple of months. Let's see how they stack up against each other. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I greatly appreciate you stopping by. If you're a subscriber, greatly appreciate it. So these two are some of the top rinseless washes out there, according to a lot of reviews and people out there. But there's one missing, and that is O&R, and that's Optimum No Rinse. They are the original player in this industry of rinseless washing. They came up with it, they developed it. Everybody's come out with their own rinseless wash. And the ones that can compete with them and perform like O&R is Mckee's 37, rinseless, and P&S Absolute. Mckee's 37's come out maybe even just a year ago. It seems to be very similar to O&R, but it has a different scent, a different color. O&R smells like chemical blueberries. This smells like sour apples. Absolute's been out a couple of months now. Absolute's made by a company called P&S. Very affordable, different technology, thicker than the other two, thicker than O&R. Smells like coconuts, or I think it was supposed to be made to smell like a pina colada. Personally, I love the smell of this. A lot of people say they perform the same, so I figured I would decide to check them out on my own. So we're gonna try, put them up against each other. I've got a dirtier hood. I'm gonna wash my truck here. So we're gonna go ahead and do the hood, and I'm also gonna do both the interior door panels with each one and see how they compare on the inside. It's something a lot of people don't think of using it for an interior cleaner. So as you can see, I wanted to do a controlled environment. So I have right here, you'll see the warning label, the top of it. That warning label is, both buckets are filled with water right to the top line there of that warning label. So I average it to be pretty close to 4 gallons. I'm gonna mix them both up as if they're both 4 gallons. Both of them mix a ½ ounce to a gallon. So we're gonna go ahead and put 2 ounces total in. I've got 2 chenille wash mitts, red one for Mckee's, blue one for Absolute. Both from the rag company, just purchased them, never been used, nothing to that sort. I got 2 creature drying towels. I'm using these because I find that they smear a little bit, so maybe that'll make a difference. Maybe one absorbs a little bit better into a towel than others. I'm also gonna be using mixing cup to make sure we get proper mix here of 2 ounces per bucket. And then I will be using the press-all bottles to mix up a pre-spray solution. What I'll do is I'll put the solution in here, mix it up, and then I will fill each bottle at each bucket. So I'm trying to keep this as even as possible. Let's go ahead and get started with the mix. All right, let's go ahead and mix up our solution for Mckee's 37. N-914, dilution for rinseless wash, 256:1, as you can see right there. They have other dilutions for other different things, but we're gonna be using 256:1. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put 2 ounces in here. All right, and I'll say possibly 2 ounces. And this is, same consistency as water. Red wash mitt is going to designate this rinseless. And I will make sure to rinse this out before I mix up my Absolute. So as you've seen, it's just like water. I want to go ahead and stir that up. I have a red grit guard in the bottom. Now I want to go ahead and fill up my bottle now. I'm going to be using this as a pre-spray and also on the interior. There we go. There's Mckee's. So mix up the Absolute. Same amount of water. This stuff you want to shake up because it's thicker. This is not the consistency of water. It's more of a, gets a little chunky. So, same thing here. Let me see if I can find it up right there. Add 1 ounce of Absolute to 2 gallons of water, 256 to 1, so we can all see that right there. They have other dilutions the same, but we're going to be using 256 to 1. It's the same mix. So, God, I love the smell of this stuff. So, another 2 ounces, because I'm going to mix this up as 4 gallons. I'm not going to do 2. It's still 256 to 1 as they recommend. But you're going to see it's quite a bit chunkier, more of a milkshake consistency. You can see this stuff almost turns a little bit more stringy and chunky in the bucket here. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up a little bit. Before I even put the mitt in there, I'm not going to stir it with a mitt because I don't want chunks all on the mitt. So we'll stir it up. But you can see as soon as you mix it up, you know, slight little bit of a film throughout the water, but very, very consistent. So we're going to go ahead and put our mitt in there, blue mitt for Absolute. Do the same thing here. Fill up my bottle. That's Absolute, mixed up, ready to go with the bottle. We'll be good to go. All right, so just so nobody can say I'm cleaning a clean vehicle, you can see this is quite dirty here. This just sits outside. I don't drive this truck very much, but it does sit out around trees and whatnot, so you can see. This is the passenger side. There's going to be my drying towel for this side. Sorry, tight fit here. This is the driver's side. Another drying towel. You can see, just as dirty. Can't say one side's cleaner than the other. Still sits and gets the same weather, same sun, same everything. So we're going to go ahead. We'll designate right down the middle here. This side we'll do Mckee's 37. Passenger side we'll do as Absolute. So I'll put my drying towel there. I'm going to go ahead. This is my Absolute in a bottle. I'm going to go ahead pre-soak. I'm going to try to stay away from the center there with this pre-spray. I'm okay if I don't get it completely. I want to try to keep it off the other side. All right, I feel pretty good about that. Blue mitt, Absolute. So we're going to go ahead. This is a chenille wash mitt from the rag company. Fresh new. I didn't even wash it as recommended. I wanted it as pure as possible. Same as the red one from Mckee's. Go ahead and flip it over. As you can see, it's heavy, but it's not dripping everywhere. Stuff works pretty good here. I like it. I like the smell of it too. So, all right. Show you what it looks like here now with it wet. As you can tell, the paint is blue, dark blue. Not seeing anything major. Yes, there are scratches in the paint. This truck was pretty beat up when I bought it. It is 94. But yeah, I mean, it still does have a shine. I did a paint correction on it. It's got G-Technic, CSL, and XO on it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But yeah, definitely seeing blue. I'm not seeing anything that didn't lift. I see a little bit of etching. I do have some water spots in the hood, but they're across the whole hood. But I'm liking how clean it is. Let's go ahead and dry it. I'll start with my high pile side first. Try to get the bulk of it up. And we'll flip it over. We'll do the low pile. Try to get the rest of it. Flashes off nice. Looks good. You can still see there's water spots. The only way I'm going to get rid of those is if I polish them out. I've already tried water spot remover. I've tried a bunch of different things, and they're probably not going to come out. So it's a work truck, so it is what it is. So let's take a look. The other side's still dirty. You can see the difference. So cleanest as it's going to get is if you use soap. So let's move to the other side. All right, here we are on the other side. Just want to show you. Still dirty. Go over to the other side. Very much clean. All right. So, same thing. We're going to go ahead, take my lid back off. Mckee's 37. N-914. Pre-spray right here. Try to keep the overspray off the other side. Trying to keep this as fair as possible. Drying towel up there. Let me get it all wet. And I want to do the same pre-soak as I did on the other side. Because there's a little bit on the surface now, I don't feel like I got to have quite as much in the mitt. So, same thing. Start in the center here. I'm going to do up and down. I'll do side to side. Yeah, see, I don't like this. This is, to me, compared to after using Absolute, this feels kind of grabby to me. And I can honestly say, I have this, and I've used some of it, and it has not been to clean a vehicle. I've used it to clean workbenches. I've used it to clean my TV, because I wanted to try it. And I didn't really see where it was any different than O&R, but I am seeing a difference of it compared to Absolute. So let's put that back in the bucket. You can see the water is a little bit tighter on it. Once again, this is a coated truck. And it's not different from side to side. So the water behavior is different with this. It seems like the water does pull together a little bit closer in smaller streaks versus it seemed to be a little bit wider. But something I'm noticing is it feels like it's more grabby to me. New drying towel. It's the same towel, but different. This is a new one, dry, clean. We're gonna do the same thing. High pile to start. Back and forth here, get the bulk. Now I'm gonna flip it over to the low nap side and pick up the rest. Doesn't seem like this absorbs as well either. And these are new towels. I've never used them on anything. I bought them and put on waxes, and I've never put a wax. I've coated everything since I got this stuff. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna do the same as I did on the other side. I'm gonna do a flip, and let's try that. And I actually think I went over this one extra time. Man, it is not as slick at all to me. Guys say, yeah, they're close. I'm not seeing even where they're close. It doesn't seem to evaporate as fast. Let me bring you in so you can see this. You can see this is still hazed on the panel because it hasn't dried off. I haven't used anything different. You've seen me do the other side with Absolute versus this side, and you've seen me wipe this even more, and it's still there. Towels have never been used for any reason. Yes, these were washed. Other than that, they've just sat in my cabinet. So let me go over it again. See, now it's flashing off pretty quick. I don't see where Mckee's is gonna cut it for me for any rinseless washing. I already have a hard enough time. I mean, it's just as clean as the other side where I did Absolute. But I'm just not impressed with the user experience of it. To me, it's not as good. User experience is not as friendly. So let me go ahead, get you way overhead there. Hopefully you can see. Move you back and forth. Hopefully I'm not blocking the light. So That's the exteriors. At this point, I would say Absolute. What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments section. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. If you've had experience with both of these, please let me know. If you've had an experience with O&R in any of these, let me know. Always interested. I like O&R. I'm digging Absolute as well. I actually like the smell better. I think that's what's going to probably divide those two. Mckee's, not thrilled. Probably going to give it to my girlfriend for the house. Let's move on to the interior. I'm going to do driver's side door panel, passenger side door panel. I'll start off with Mckee's because I'm already on the driver's side here for the door panel. I'm going to spray it down, and I'll just use what I was using for a drying towel on the outside to wipe down the door. It's not really dirty. I just want to see if it leaves anything, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. All right, you can see door panel's not really dirty. It's got faded, a couple crumbs there, a little bit of dust there. Mark from probably something from it was on my knee the day I drove this today. So I'm just going to go ahead. And we'll also, something else I'll do as a bonus, let's go ahead and spray it on the glass. I hate taking care of glass. Let's go ahead. I'm going to start with a high nap side. Like I said, I'm gonna reserve my judgment on this right now because this is interior, this is not exterior. These are different surfaces at this point. I'm still feeling where it's still a little grabby, not as bad as it was on the outside. But I've yet to use Absolute on the interior, so let's go ahead, wipe that off. Normally I would have a dedicated interior cleaner, but it's really not bad. I don't drive this vehicle all the time. So, heck, I don't even think I need to flip it over. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's clean. I don't feel it was as slick, slicker than it was on the outside. Let's go ahead and I'll use this side. Let's go ahead and wipe the windows here. All right, saturated. Not bad on windows. The towel leaves lint, and I know that. I'm gonna end up coming back through here with glass cleaner anyways. I wanna see what this can do here. Yeah, didn't lint too bad. Seems clean. It works, I guess. So, yeah. So, decent interior cleaner, as far as I'm concerned. Let's move on to Absolute on the passenger side door. It's probably just as dirty as this. So, I'm always in here, but my girlfriend normally ends up in here when I do for as little as we drive it. So, let's go ahead and move over to the passenger side. Towel, I literally just grabbed it off. The same towel I dried with on the Absolute side, I just grabbed it off the wiper blade as I opened up the door here. So, Absolute, same thing. Spray it on the window, spray it on the door panel. Take the Kleenexes out of the door. Might be a little bit more than I needed, but that's okay. Do the same thing. Something I'm noticing is I wiped less with this on this side than I did with the Mckee's towel on that side, even though they're the same towel, and I'm noticing this one's more damp. So it tells me there might be something in this that helps absorb up in the towels a little bit better versus Mckee's. It's just an observation I'm noticing. I just set down the Mckee's one on the driver's side seat, and I'm walking over here, and I'm noticing this one's more damp when I grabbed it off the windshield. So, go ahead, wipe down. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is to me, this is better. This is leaps and bounds to me better. It might be minimal to other guys. I'm telling you, I think it's a huge difference. This is a rinseless wash I think I could probably start to fall in love with here using, because I don't feel like I'm gouging paint. I think if or my interior, I'm wiping things down. It's giving me lubricant, a good lubricant. Like I feel like it's enough, not they think it's enough. But let's go ahead, wipe down the windows. Okay. Oh my God, yeah, I'm telling you, this stuff wipes right up, evaporates. There is something clearly different about the Absolute, and it is just better. I don't know what to say. This is if you were to buy both bottles and try them side by side yourself, I think you might notice, to me, it's substantial. It's enough that it'll make me want to do a rinseless versus I'll keep not doing a rinseless and avoiding it. Yeah, this is definitely a product I can fall in love with. So that's the interior and glass. Bring you on back out and go over the conclusions with you. All right, so as you've seen, I've shown you how both work on a hood, exterior paint, half and half. Showed you how it works on interior door panels, driver's side, passenger side, and also on windows. And because of this experiment, I had never actually washed with Mckee 37. Yes, there was some missing. I'd use it for other things. Absolute, I washed my Mustang one time with it. And because I didn't compare it side by side with anything, it had been so long since I did a rinseless wash on a car, I couldn't really give you a good feedback then. So this doing side by side was a fantastic idea. I'm glad I made this video because in my mind, there's only one. And as you can see, there's no Pro Blend bottle on top cap anymore. So I was gonna chuck it in the trash can, but I don't have a lid for it. So I don't find a use for that. But side by side, no comparison. Absolute. Absolute was slicker, easy. It seemed like it was easier to dry off. I'd be very curious to talk to Dave, get Dave's take on that. One of the owners of P&S, he's the chemist. I would love to get his take on if there is something in here that helps absorb water into microfiber towels, because this clearly dried way easier to me. Fantastic as far as I was concerned. I'll be using Rinseless Wash from Absolute P&S here. Pro tip, the Pro Blend tops that you just seen on the Mckees, it doesn't work on the Absolute. I tried it. It doesn't even fall down around, so that is a disadvantage because of its thickness, its consistency. So I put it over in the sink for the time being so I can get it rinsed out and put it back on the shelf to use for something else. I'll probably get a bottle of O&R to put on the shelf because I like it for wet sanding and oddball things. I like it around the house. My girlfriend likes the smell of it. She hates coconut, so I know she won't use this stuff around the house. But yeah, for vehicles, no questions asked, I'm using Absolute over Mckee's. So if you stuck around this long, I greatly appreciate it. If you find this content helpful, please feel free to subscribe. Like this video so it spreads through the YouTube community. Stay tuned for more and greatly appreciate it.